Did you know that science now shows and proves how we speak to the universe through the power of our biology, through the power of the unconscious programs that are locked in our cells, our nervous system, and our subconscious mind? And many of these programs, many of these unconscious beliefs, they're not even ours. They were hardwired into us long before we were born in our mother's womb. Or maybe they're the fear, lack, and scarcity programs that are generations deep that have been passed through the ancestral line through epigenetic mechanisms. Well, the good news is you are not stuck with your cellular blueprint. You can upgrade those programs, those core beliefs. Once you can see them, we can only ever heal the things that we can see. And in this week's YouTube video, I'm going to be sharing with you how our mother influences our cellular blueprint while we are in the womb and what you can do to upgrade and up level that blueprint. Because if you were wired for scarcity, fear, lack versus safety, you're not stuck with that. It's possible to change it. Alrighty then. Before we dive in, if you don't know me, let me introduce myself. I'm Louise Wilson. I am a quantum 5D manifestation coach. And for the past 15 years, I've been working in the 5D quantum realms, working with ancestors, my soul. And this is the work, the powerful work that I share with my clients, where I show them how to leverage the fifth dimension every single night while they're sleeping, how to work with their higher self, their soul, their ancestors, so they can begin to manifest the business and life they dream of. Alrighty, let's dive in. In this training, we're actually going to be diving in to do some womb work, really going back in time to work with the time when you were in your mother's womb. Why would we do this? Well, we're going to be clearing, healing, and recalibrating your cellular blueprint, the blueprint you received before you were born and while you were in your mother's womb. So, your programming actually began before you were even born. Your subconscious programming started in the womb of your mum, not during childhood. While developing your brain, your nervous system, and stress response, they were all being formed. You were receiving chemical and emotional signals from your mother's body and from her environment, really in a response to her environment. Scientists call this prenatal programming or fetal programming. So the womb is the baby's first environment. The fetus, it's not separate from the mother's environment. A mother's chemistry, her emotions, her stress levels, and even the ancestral family stress patterns, all of this is influencing her baby. The baby then adapts to these signals to prepare them for the world that they're going to be birthed into. So early patterns form before conscious memory even exists. So, how does the mother's chemistry program the baby? Well, if she's feeling stress, fear, love, or safety, all of these emotions trigger the release of different hormones. And these hormones then cross the placenta and reach the fetus. And the nervous system then adapts, preparing the fetus for survival or safety, preparing you when you're born for survival or safety. So, stressful, dangerous, or very demanding situations can trigger the release of cortisol. This is considered to be the stress hormone. It prepares the body for action. It can increase the heart rate, blood sugar, and alertness. But the chronic release of cortisol can lead to inflammation, anxiety, and emotional regulation. High pressure, high stakes, danger, or threat. Now, this could also include like bungee jumping or going on a roller coaster, in addition to those scary moments. All of this can signal the release of adrenaline. Adrenaline is the action hormone. It boosts energy, focus, and physical readiness. It can increase the heart rate, the blood flow, and oxygen delivery. Excessive adrenaline, though, it can release and trigger a severe case of fight or flight response. And the symptoms of this could be a rapid heart rate, high blood pressure, dizziness, intense anxiety, shakiness, and severe headaches. Now, feelings of well-being, if your mother's feeling, well-being and having positive social interactions, this is very much associated with the increased release of healthy serotonin. Serotonin is considered to be the mood stabilizer. It regulates mood, happiness, and emotional balance. It influences sleep, appetite, and digestion. Then there's oxytocin, and typically positive, sensory, soothing, bonding, and well-being activities promote the release of oxytocin. So here we're looking at exercise, yoga, meditation, pleasant aromatherapy, pleasant activities, petting your dog, listening to music, soothing activities. They all stimulate the release of oxytocin, and oxytocin is considered to be the bonding hormone. It promotes connection, safety, and relaxation. It lowers stress and enhances emotional regulation. It facilitates bonding, trust, and empathy while reducing stress and lowering anxiety. So, nervous system wiring begins in the womb. During pregnancy, your brain and your nervous system are forming. Your nervous system learns from the environment it's in. So, high stress, if your mother's experiencing high stress, hyper alertness, anxiety, or is in a survival mode, then that is what is being imprinted in you. Safety, feeling safe, can then stimulate regulation, trust, resilience. You learn safety or danger before you're born, before your conscious mind even exists. Epigenetics also shapes you, and your environment shapes you and your gene expression. So genes aren't fixed. Your environment can actually turn genes on or off. That's why they're called epigenetics. Epi means above the gene. And what this means is that it's the environment that you are in, it's the environment that your mother was in, it's the environment that your ancestors experienced can influence their gene activity. And so, what your mother was experiencing can signal and influence your stress response, emotional regulation, metabolism, immune system, and nervous system sensitivity. So, essentially, your DNA isn't changed, but it's the gene expression that switched on or off and to adapt to the changes in the environment. So, your body stores patterns without conscious memory. So the conscious mind is not yet developed when you were in the womb, but your body remembers, and it stores memory as those nervous system responses, hormonal patterns, emotional reactions, subconscious expectations. Early patterning can show up later in life. It can be feeling fear without any logical reason, overworking, difficulty receiving, and being stuck in that survival identity. Survival wiring may cause the need to feel like you have to overwork, or feeling like nothing's going to come easily, or always feeling that sense of hypervigilance that you need to stay alert because your nervous system learned that the world wasn't safe before you were born. Or it could be manifest as struggling to receive support, struggling to receive abundance. These are nervous system patterns. They're not conscious choices. These were imprinted within you before you were even born. And the body may interpret success as unsafe. And if it does, if it just success abundance, success just doesn't feel safe to the nervous system, then you'll just keep looping back in those old survival patterns and responses. So your emotional state actually creates biological signals. So your body's continuously sending signals via hormones, nervous system activity, brain waves, like what you're thinking, what you believe, heart rhythms, how you feel, and electromagnetic activity. So that's the brain and the heart. The brain is the electric charge, the heart is the magnetic charge and activity. So your emotional state actually can change your chemistry. And then your chemistry changes your nervous system. And your nervous system changes how you respond to life, whether you're stuck in survival patterning or expansive patterning. The good news about this is that you can actually revisit and change that early wiring. Because in the same way that the blueprint was imprinted upon you, you can choose something else. You can imprint a new patterns of safety, signaling safety to your body, to your nervous system. And the reason why you can do it is because the subconscious can be accessed during deep relaxation, meditation, visualization, and hypnosis. And in these states, the nervous system responds to imagery and emotions as if it was real. And it allows those early patterns to be updated. This is how rewiring becomes possible. And perhaps you're beginning to see why guided soul journeys are such a powerful, powerful process to support you in rewiring your subconscious mind, in rewiring your cells and your nervous system. So I'm going to be sharing with you a guided soul journey to support you in clearing, healing, and recalibrating the cellular blueprint you had before you were born, that your mother imprinted upon you before you were born. This is what your body, the blueprint is what your body learned about life before birth. And it learned that through your mother's experiences and through the environment that she was living in, and then the chemical environment she created in her body that you were sort of immersed in before you were born. And your nervous system adapted to that chemistry, and it adapted to the environment that you developed in. So during this journey, you're going to go back to the womb, not to relive the experience, but really to see what were the patterns that were formed within you. What were the beliefs that your mother had? What were the experiences that created that chemistry within you? And you're going to do this so that you can actually choose more empowering patterns, sending new signals to your biology, to your subconscious, to your cells and your nervous system. In this journey, you're going to be signaling safety, that's the past now, that you're going to be imprinting a whole new cellular blueprint within you. So in this journey, you're going to receive new signals of safety, feeling massively supported, feeling a deep sense of trust and abundance. This is the new blueprint you will be imprinting within your cells, your subconscious, and your nervous system. And as you experience this soul journey, this is how you can update your subconscious. This is how your nervous system rewires. And this is how your body can learn a new experience of life. Now, I do want to say that this is going to be a powerful journey because you will be traveling back into your mother's womb. Now, you can also experience this above your mother's body and just tapping into and tuning into what was going on for your mother and her environment. You could even see everything playing out in the environment and then just see the signals, the chemistry that's taking place within your mother's body. I do want to say, though, that if it feels too emotional for you or too triggering for you to experience this, then I'm going to encourage you to skip it, because in this program, we're not working with big T trauma. It's important that if you are going to choose to work with those big T traumas, then you really do need to have that close network of support through a therapist, or maybe you already have a therapist in place that you're working with to work at this level. But this isn't what we'll be doing within this program. So I think it's important to stress that. At the end of the journey, which you'll find in the adjacent resources section, I want to encourage you to journal your experience. And I also want to encourage you to drink plenty of water, because the water is going to allow you to clear the old programming out, to just clear everything out. The water will move things along in your system. And also know that if you feel emotional after this journey, maybe for a few days, you might start to feel quite emotional. And it might feel, why am I feeling this way? Well, what's happening is those old stuck emotions are coming to the surface, and you're now experiencing them to release them. They're coming up to the surface to be cleared. So there are a number of tools and processes in the pillar 4 of the program that I share with you to recalibrate your energy, your vibration, your frequency, to support you. So you'll find processes in there to support you if you are feeling a little emotional or that stuff's coming up. But yeah, so nothing to worry about. It's like cream, when it just comes to rise to the surface to be skimmed off and to be cleared. But again, we aren't working at the big T trauma level here. So just want to reiterate that. I also want to say, moving forwards after the journey, it's important to know that tiny shifts really can powerfully rewire your nervous system. Your nervous system learns through those tiny repetitions. It's not through force efforting. So I want to encourage you to, as you go about your day, to continue to send those small signals and cues of safety to your body, to your nervous system. Notice your breath, ground in your body, go outside, bare feet on the ground, pull your ancestors in, feel their love surrounding you, that cloak of energy that I've shared with you on many occasions in your nightly soul journey. You can see that cloak of energy wrapping you in love. See your ancestors wrapping you in love, guidance, and support. There is also within one of the journeys I shared with you, the sacred geometry of the pyramid, seeing yourself, that you're surrounded by a pyramid. And as the pyramid opens up, you can see energy from source energy flowing into your body, revitalizing you, rejuvenating you. Pyramid has a very wide base. So the base of the pyramid, that's your grounding, that's your connection to your ancestors. So if you're feeling like an energetic wobble, reach for that visual of the sacred geometry of the pyramid. See yourself within the pyramid, grounded with the base to your ancestors, your feet firmly on the ground, drawing up the strength, wisdom, and vitality from your ancestors into your body, drawing up that strength and resourcefulness. And then looking up the top of the pyramid, the apex, that's your connection to source, to those higher states and realms. See the top opening and just allow source energy to flow into you, into your body. And you could see it as a visual, the pyramid just filling up with gorgeous golden healing energy. So, send these gorgeous signals to your body as you go about your day, taking those deep cleansing breaths in. Breathe in for 4, breathe out for 7. Really signal safety to your body. Wrap your arms around yourself. Rub your arms. I'm safe. Say those affirmations. All is deeply and profoundly well. I'm safe. I'll often just start tapping myself and saying my affirmations, or tapping here, just I am safe, all is well. My ancestors are who I lean into the most for guidance and support, but continuing to send these signals of safety to your body, to biology, to your cells, very important. Creating those small moments, as you go about your day, shift gears, gear down a little bit, pause, slow down, rest. Just give your body and your nervous system those small cues of safety as you go about your day. And then also just pay attention. Notice how you're feeling as you go about your day. If you start to feel anxious, unsafe, overwhelmed, nervous, just again, signal safety. You can just rub your arms, wrap your arms around you, see your ancestors cloaking you in their love, wisdom, and support. Redirect your attention, move it away. Don't focus on, those challenging thoughts. Reach for high vibrational thoughts, reach for good feeling thoughts. You're refocusing, shift your attention, guide your attention. This is so important, being that sacred observer, noticing in every given moment, what are you focusing on? Because where attention goes, energy flows. And be very gentle on yourself. Be the sacred observer. Don't judge yourself. Just be gentle and work with your mind to refocus your attention. These small shifts as you go about your day rewire your nervous system. So we don't have to do these big grand gestures, just small, simple shifts. And again, perhaps you're also really beginning to see and fully understand the power of your soul journeys, your daily and nightly soul journeys, because these can support you in giving you those small cues of safety. Now, in the bonuses section, you'll see you've got the vault of my best of guided soul journeys. So you have so many journeys to choose from. And I want to invite you to trust your intuition. Dive in, choose a journey that feels aligned for you in that moment. Listening to these journeys at night, again, the subconscious is opening. You're pumping, priming, rewiring your subconscious, your cells, and your nervous system. And you're doing it before you go to sleep, which is a very powerful time when the subconscious is wide open. And it can just receive the safety codes that you quietly feed it, the abundance codes that you quietly feed it. And then in the morning when you wake up, again, listen to those soul journeys to prime you for your day. So your nervous system thrives on consistency, not on pushing, forcing, or efficiency, just consistency. So listening to your soul journeys day and night, that's consistency. That's practicing a consistent quantum habit. And these morning and nightly journeys give your body those small cues of safety. You'll also see in the creating from the field lessons I share in there how to create a powerful vortex of energy within your bedroom. Again, think of your bedroom as that safety, creating that safe, sacred space within your bedroom. Use aromatherapy, to stimulate those wonderful high vibe feelings. Just know that over time, these small shifts will accumulate and you'll really begin to notice feeling so much more ease and spaciousness in your life and in your body. They'll create deeper trust within you and in your life. And you'll come to align more powerfully with your deeper self, your higher self, the truth of who you are. So again, I just want to encourage you to listen day and night to your soul journeys. Now, if you would like to dive in and do further reading, there are some books and resources for the science behind womb programming and rewiring. There's Bruce Lipton's The Biology of Belief. Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps Score, Candice Pert, Molecules of Emotion, Stephen Porges, The Polyvagal Theory, Norman Doge, The Brain That Changes Itself, Rachel Yehuda, Research on Epigenetics and Intergenerational Trauma, David Barker on Fetal Programming Theory, and Thomas Vernay, The Secret Life of the Unborn Child. That's it for this training. In the resources section, you'll see the guided soul journey that I'm sharing with you in there to support you to recalibrate your nervous system blueprint, recalibrate the blueprint in your cells and in your subconscious mind. And, you know, if you choose, you can return to this journey over and over again. You'll know how often you feel a need to listen to it. And just know that it's powerful, and its whole purpose is to not relive the experience, but to reimagine and reprint a new blueprint within the core of your being. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're curious, if you're wondering, I'd really love to know more about how to shift my cellular blueprint, how to work in the fifth dimension while I'm sleeping, and simply click the link around this video where you can join the priority list for my upcoming Quantum Leap in Your Sleep program. Alrighty, now if you love this video and you'd like to receive notifications of when I'm going live or when videos are being posted, simply hit that notification bell. And you can also go to my website at www.louise-wilson.com, where you can learn more about the work that I share with my clients. And I'm over on Instagram at The Infinite Entrepreneur. Alrighty, sending so much love to you across the ethers and the miles. Bye for now.